In the dark corners of the world, where governments turn a blind eye and corporations wage secret wars, conflicts are won not by armies but by ghosts, men and women who exist only in whispers, and among these whispers one name is spoken with the most fear and reverence. Though it is not a name at all, it is a number. Our story begins in a place like that, a forgotten hellhole where hope comes to die. Lieutenant Kang Ham Chan of the South Korean Special Forces is a prisoner. His mission to rescue a high-value professor was a disaster. Their informant betrayed them, leading his squad into a perfectly executed trap. They were met not by militia but by highly trained soldiers who knew their every move. The mission was a failure. Men were lost, and now the enemy is just toying with them. With cold indifference, the enemy executes his comrade. The lieutenant is filled with rage, but he is helpless. The message is clear. There is no escape. Only death awaits. But then, a new figure emerges from the shadows. He doesn't look like the other captors. He stands with an unnerving stillness, and then he speaks. The words are spoken with a clumsy accent, but the language is unmistakable. It's Korean. "I am here to rescue you," the stranger says. "Bring the other prisoners and follow me. This isn't an enemy. This is salvation arriving from nowhere." The lieutenant is stunned. The rescuer claims to be on a one-man operation, an impossible boast. Yet as they move through the corridors, the proof is all around them. An entire squad of guards, neutralized without a single sound. This lone operator took them all out by himself. The skill level is unthinkable. Their luck runs out. They're spotted. The lieutenant prepares for a desperate firefight, but the rescuer simply tells him, "Do not use your gun unless there is an emergency. I will take care of the enemies." Before the lieutenant can even protest, the rescuer explodes into motion. What follows is not a battle, it's a cull. The rescuer moves with a brutal, calculated grace that defies belief. To the lieutenant, it looks like reckless abandon, a mad dash into enemy fire. He thinks this lone wolf is running on pure adrenaline. He is wrong. By the time the dust settles, the hallway is silent. The threat is gone. The lieutenant stares, his mind struggling to comprehend what he just saw. This isn't a soldier. This is a monster. Reaching an exit, the rescuer suddenly stops them. He tells them to wait for 1 minute. The lieutenant is confused, but the rescuer's logic is chillingly brilliant. He wasn't just running. He had calculated the prisoner's stamina, giving them a moment to recover before the final push. Every single step was planned. They meet up with the rest of the rescued squad. The mission is a success. As the mysterious mercenary prepares to part ways, the lieutenant thanks him. But just as he turns to leave, disaster strikes. A mortar round screams from the sky. The world erupts in fire and thunder. The soldiers are thrown like dolls, their ears ringing, their vision blurred. But through the smoke and chaos, one figure is already back on his feet. The mercenary, unfazed by the blast, is already engaging the new threat. But the second explosion does something unexpected. It rips away his mask. And for the first time, Lieutenant Kang Ham Chan sees the face of the monster who saved them all. The tactical genius. The one-man army. And his world tilts on its axis. He's just a kid. 6 months later, the world is different. No more gunfire, no more death. Just the quiet murmur of a high school classroom. The teacher introduces a new transfer student. He walks to the front of the class, his eyes holding a depth no one here could possibly understand. He looks at his new classmates and speaks, his voice calm and steady. "It is nice to meet you. I am Eugen." From the world's most dangerous battlefields to the hallways of a normal high school, the greatest mercenary is about to face his most challenging mission yet, fitting in. What happens next is where our story truly begins. In the quiet halls of a private high school, another ordinary day begins, but not for Yu Daeun. She sits in class, absent-mindedly scribbling in her notebook. Oppa is probably in class by now. Around her, her classmates chatter about a good-looking senior who just transferred. Her heart skips. Could it really be him? Her mind drifts back 10 years, to the tragedy that changed everything. A plane crash stole her parents and her brother. For a decade, Daeun believed she was the only one left. But then, at the airport, a boy stepped off a plane. Her grandfather collapsed in tears and said, "You were alive, you were really alive." The boy looked at her calmly. "So you are Daeun." That fragile memory is shattered by a sudden voice. "You fucking idiot, how many times do I have to call you?" A bully looms over her, demanding her gym clothes. Daeun hesitates. "But if I lend it to you, what am I supposed to wear?" Slap. A hard strike to the cheek. The girls laugh. "We let you off for a while and now you've lost your touch." Daeun lowers her gaze, silent, powerless. Meanwhile in class 3-2, a silver-haired boy stands before the class. Calm eyes, cold presence. His name is Yu Ijin. "He lived abroad for a long time," the teacher explains. "Please help him adjust." The girls whisper, swooning, "Oh no, he's hot." But not everyone is impressed. One student sneers. "Why the hell is everyone going crazy over this loser?" As Ijin walks to his seat, the bully sticks out his leg, trying to trip him. Ijin steps over it without even blinking. Effortless, automatic. The bully stiffens. "Is he glaring at me?" But Ijin's mind is elsewhere. A flash of memory, a military officer's voice. "While you're in Korea, avoid fighting. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried for your opponent." Ijin bows slightly. "I apologize," calm, detached. He takes his seat beside Park Yunchin, a kind classmate who offers a quiet warning. "Be careful around Yihyun and Ju Hyukjin." Ijin nods, he's listening, but his thoughts are far away in a war zone, chest-deep water, gunfire, blood, survival. Then he looks out the window. This country is peaceful. After school, Daeun finds him waiting outside. Daeun said, "Oppa." He wanted to walk her home. It's awkward. 10 years of silence isn't bridged in a single stroll, but they try. Ijin was only 9 when it happened. All I remembered was I had a sister and a grandfather. Their moment is short-lived. As they pass a restaurant, the bullies reappear. "Hey you Daeun, who's that, your boyfriend?" "And no, he's my brother." Ijin, trying to be polite, asks, "Is she your friend?" The bullies freeze. One girl's eyes darken. "Am I your friend, huh?" Another scoffs, "Is that bitch glaring at me?" A boy steps forward, angry, barking threats. "Hey you little shit, you wanna die." Ijin watches silently, measuring, weak footing, exposed stance, open ribs, way too defenseless for someone starting a fight. The officer's voice returns, "Don't fight." Ijin exhales and turns to walk away. But then the boy grabs his jacket. Daeun quickly bows. "I'm sorry, my brother lived abroad, he's not used to the culture here." The boy scoffs, "What's that got to do with me?" and shoves her. That's it. In one smooth motion, Ijin strikes, a brutal hit to the wrist. Crack. The boy howls. Ijin drops his bag. Then he calmly takes off his jacket and drapes it over Daeun's head. "Don't look." He turns back, and without hesitation, delivers a devastating punch to the boy's face. One strike. No wasted motion, no emotion, just cold surgical precision. The boy drops instantly, unconscious. The others freeze, faces drained of color. They weren't fighting a student, they provoked something else entirely. They picked a fight with a ghost from a battlefield. Ijin exhales. "I guess I broke my promise on the first day." A peaceful sun rises over the trees and vultures. The serenity is broken by the sound of a military unit running in sync. Shirtless, a lieutenant stands watching. Sergeant Kim approaches. "Didn't he start school today?" The lieutenant nods. Kim looks uneasy. "I'm worried. He lived in a place like hell for 10 years since he was 9. Can he really adjust?" The lieutenant answers calmly. "I trained him myself to live normally, to not fight, he'll be fine." Cut to now. Yu Ijin moves without hesitation. He strikes one boy down, then the next. Both collapse in seconds. From the side, Heejin, the third in their group, watches in horror, unable to move or speak. Daeun removes the jacket from over her head. "Oppa." "I was only covered for a moment," Daeun replies. "Were you surprised?" he asks. She stays silent. "I'm fine, want me to buy you something?" Still no response. "Well then, let's go home." She nods. She hands him back the jacket. "Thank you," he says. They walk away. Heejin watches them from behind. Is that really the same guy? On the way home, Dayan speaks up. In this country, glaring at people like that can get you in trouble. Ijin answers, even where I lived, eye contact could be dangerous. Then why did you do it now, she asks. He simply replies, they looked like they were bothering you. She falls quiet. He glances at her and thinks, did I say something wrong? That night they return home. Ijin offers to take care of chores. They eat quietly and head to bed. As Ijin sleeps, a memory flickers. His grandfather smiles in the dream, gently reassuring him. You may not remember much from when you were little, but that's okay. What matters is that you're alive. I wasn't sure what you'd like, so I made a bit of everything. I hope it suits your taste. The next morning, Ijin wakes to the sound of someone in the kitchen. Dayan is already up preparing food. Oh, you're awake, she says. I was just about to call you. He looks around. Where Grandpa? He left for work early. He took a few days off when you came, but he started again today. She grabs her bag. There are leftovers on the table. I'm heading out early. She leaves. At school, the two boys Ijin knocked out are still recovering. Heejin stands over them, still rattled. A new voice cuts in sharp, commanding. The blonde girl arrives. What happened here, she demands. Heejin explains, still shaken but unaware of what's coming. But the blonde bully smirks. He's a third year, and he's in the same class as the Alpha group. In a classroom filled with chatter and distraction, a group of bullies, Lee Jae-hyun and Ju Hyuk-jin among them, torment a fellow student, Park Yoon-chan. They flick erasers at his head, laughing and calling their shots like they're playing a game. Lee Jae-hyun mocks, boasting about his double body shot and a finishing headshot, while Ju Hyuk-jin demands Park's eraser, egging the harassment on. Their laughter and cruelty echo until the door opens. Ijin walks in silently. He doesn't confront them, he doesn't even acknowledge them, but his very presence stirs something in the bullies. Lee Jae-hyun eyes him with irritation, muttering that something about Ijin just annoys him. He proposes they make him stop, and Ju Hyuk-jin suggests calling Ijin over after school. The group agrees, already planning their next move. Later, Ijin has a quiet conversation with Park Yoon-chan. Yoon-chan asks about his younger sister and Ijin says her name, Yoo Daeun. The name stops Yoon-chan cold. He stammers in disbelief, Yoo Daeun, the first-year student. He then shares what he knows. Daeun is being bullied relentlessly. She's smart and well-liked, and that made one girl in particular jealous. That girl began targeting her, and no one can stop her because her older brother is Kim Kisu, the top senior in school. The bullying is so severe that people are surprised Daeun hasn't dropped out yet. A painful memory follows, Daeun smiling brightly while speaking with her grandfather. When he asks how school is going, she lies cheerfully, saying everything is great. She's hiding her pain to keep him from worrying. Turns to Daeun. Follow if you don't want to get wrecked. Then a kick to Daeun's stomach. Hey Daeun, what did I say about acting out? Daeun gasps. What are you talking about? Look at this bitch acting clueless, the blonde girl snarls. Your brother can fight a little, huh? Now you're getting bold, cute. But now his school life's going to be hell. Daeun's eyes widen. Because of me, Oppa going to be attacked. She turns and runs. Where do you think you're going? Think you can run away? But Daeun doesn't stop. She sprints toward Class 3-2. Class 3-2, Kim Kisu and his gang confront Ijin. Kisu, full of swagger, points at him and commands, come here. Ijin calmly responds by confirming his name, Kim Kisu, and Kisu is momentarily thrown off. He orders his crew to bring Ijin over by force. But before anything happens, a voice breaks through the tension. Daeun rushes into the scene, calling out, Oppa. Watching from the background is Kisu's sister, the same girl who's been bullying Daeun. She mocks the situation, sarcastically remarking that she'd be worried if her brother got beaten up. As Daeun apologizes to Ijin for dragging him into this, the bully sister cruelly calls her a fucking drama queen. Ijin looks at Daeun with calm resolve and says, there's no need for you to apologize. And then it happens. Without warning, Ijin explodes into action. In mere seconds, he dismantles Kisu's entire crew, each thug collapsing in agony. Kisu, stunned and speechless, can only gape at the carnage and stammer, "Who is this fucker? What just happened here?" Ijin stands among the wreckage, his sister safe behind him. He looks at the remaining bullies, his eyes cold and focused, and asks, "So you're the ones who have been giving my sister a hard time?" The thugs defeated, the students stand frozen, staring at the chaos. Kim Kisu's entire gang is lying on the floor, but the fight isn't over. Ijin, with a cold and unreadable expression, stands tall, his eyes locked on Kisu. Furious, Kisu shouts, "You little shit think you can just ignore me," and throws a punch straight at Ijin. But in a flash, Ijin coldly blocks it without even flinching. Gritting his teeth, Kisu tries to strike again, this time aiming a kick at Ijin's side. Again, Ijin blocks it effortlessly. Then, with swift precision, he grabs Kisu's leg, yanks him off balance, and lands a punch right to his face, dropping him hard to the floor. Before Kisu can recover, Ijin follows up with a devastating kick to the face, knocking him out cold. Everyone watching is stunned into silence. Even Kim Kisu got beaten, someone whispers. "Fuck, for real. Is this real?" Lee Jaehyun and Ju Hyukjin gasp. Daehyun and Kisu's sister look on in disbelief. This is the first time anyone has ever defeated Kisu. Ijin turns slowly and starts walking toward Kisu's sister, clenching his fist. She freezes in fear. "Don't tell me," she thinks. "Is he going to hit me?" Her face twists in panic as he gets closer. But just then Daehyun cries out, "Oppa, stop it." Ijin pauses. "But aren't these the ones who bullied you all this time?" he asks. Daehyun hesitates. "Why yeah, but stop, okay? You're not going to hit a girl." Ijin lets out a small sigh. "Okay," he says calmly. "Let's go. I'll walk you to your class," he adds gently. They begin walking together, the hallway filling with murmurs and disbelief. "Holy crap, what just happened?" one student mutters. Lee Heejun is stunned. "Holy shit, that transfer student is seriously strong," he thinks. "If I had fought him, I'd be face down just like the rest of them." As the rumors spread, Kisu's sister, fuming, turns to her defeated brothers and snaps, "You morons." Meanwhile, walking side by side with Ijin, Daehyun quietly says, "I'm sorry." "What for?" "Because of me. Yesterday and today, you got dragged into all these fights." "What are you talking about?" Ijin says with a soft smile. "Of course I'd fight for you." Daehyun looks up at him, shocked and moved. "Where I used to live," Ijin continues, "most people only cared about themselves. No matter what happened to others, if it didn't involve them, they didn't lift a finger." "Even family?" Daehyun asks. "Yeah, that's why I used to wonder, what is family really?" "But you said you barely remember Grandpa or me." "You're right, I still don't remember much," Ijin admits, "but I know for sure we are family." They stop in front of her classroom. "We're already here," Daehyun smiles. Ijin nods and says, "I'll go ahead then." As he walks into his own classroom, every head turns toward him in awe. The two bullies who had been tormenting Park Yunchin call out, "Yo, that was fucking amazing. What the hell did they teach you overseas?" "You were badass, man," the other adds. Even his seatmate chimes in, "Honestly, I thought you were pretty cool too." At the same time, Kisu's sister snaps at her brother. "You got beaten by one person and now you're taking it out on me." She glares at him with disgust and storms off, crying in humiliation. Later in her classroom, Daehyun sits down just as Kisu's sister walks in and glares at her. She mocks her out loud. "If something bad happens, you can just go crying to your brother. Am I wrong?" Daehyun ignores her completely. "This bitch thinks she can ignore me," the bully fumes internally. But as she stews in anger, an image of Ijin flashes in her mind. His icy glare, his overwhelming strength. The memory makes her shudder. She clenches her fists, standing stiffly behind Daehyun, furious and humiliated. "There's no way," she mutters to herself. "I'm not done yet." Daehyun lost in a vivid montage of memory. She recalls Ijin's unwavering expression as he stood over her defeated tormentors. His words echo in her mind, a promise and a fact. "You're not the one at fault. It's these guys. We're a family." This newfound safety gives rise to a hopeful question. Can I go to school without being bullied now? But the hope is immediately challenged by the painful memory of a bully's sharp voice yelling, "Hurry the fuck up, bitch, I'm starving." She is so lost in these conflicting thoughts that she doesn't hear Ijin calling her name. He walks up to her, his presence finally breaking her trance. "What's on your mind, Daeun?" "Huh," he asks gently. "What's making you think so much that you couldn't hear me?" Startled, she looks up. "Sorry, I didn't know, were you waiting again?" Ijin gives a small, reassuring smile. "Yeah, I'm bad with directions," he jokes, and they begin walking together. From a distance, Kisu's sister watches them, a malicious smile playing on her lips. Let's see how long she can keep that up, she thinks. At the market, Daeun stares at the produce with an extremely serious expression, trying to decide what to buy. "Oppa," she asks suddenly, "did you have a girlfriend where you used to live?" Ijin is caught off guard. "Girlfriend?" he stammers. "No, there wasn't anyone, I was busy," he says. Daeun immediately regrets the question, thinking it was insensitive. Turning the tables, Ijin asks, "Then do you have a boyfriend?" Flustered, Daeun echoes his excuse. I don't. I was busy too." That evening, their grandfather presents Ijin with a new phone. He proudly explains he had the clerk help him program his and Daeun's numbers into it, apologizing for having to unbox it. Ijin and Daeun reassure him, touched by the gesture. Ijin thanks him formally, promising to use it well. The next morning, Ijin walks out of the bathroom, drying his hair with a towel, to find that Daeun has already made a full breakfast. "You're going early again today?" he asks. "Yeah, I'm late," she replies, grabbing her things. "Just put your empty plates in the dishwasher," she calls over her shoulder. As she dashes out the door, she smiles, remembering her grandfather's words. "You woke up this early to cook the soup again. You should have just slept in. I'm fine with the leftovers." Her pleasant thoughts are shattered when a group of girls purposely bumps into her. The lead bully cries out as if she were the one who was hit, immediately blaming Daeun. "Watch where you're going, bitch," she snaps. Daeun quickly apologizes, but the lead bully dismisses it. "Shut up, bitch," she says. "You think an apology is gonna be enough?" Changing her tone, she turns to her friends and suggests they all go to karaoke. Then, with a menacing smile, she turns back to a terrified Daeun. "You're coming too, right, Daeun?" she asks, making it clear it isn't a choice. In that moment, Daeun recognizes the voice of her tormentor, thinking, "This voice Heejin." Later, Heejin and her friends, now disguised, leave the karaoke center. Kids these days sure are energetic. Who screams that much while singing? He goes to clean one of the rooms. As he slides the door open, he freezes, shocked by what he sees. Daeun is lying on the floor, battered and beaten. "Miss, are you all right?" He rushes to her side. Barely able to stand, Daeun gathers her things, her clothes disheveled. "Yes," she whispers. "You don't look okay at all, just wait here. I'll call 911, the man insists. "No, really," she says, pushing past him and stumbling out the door. The scene cuts to their home. Ijin, with no knowledge of what has just happened, stands outside Daeun's bedroom. He notices her voice sounds hoarse. "Daeun, can you open the door for a sec?" he asks, concerned. "I can't," she answers from inside. "I don't feel well, so I'm lying down." "You don't feel well? Is it that bad?" "No, it's just a slight fever. I should be fine if I sleep on it." "All right," Ijin says, his concern not entirely gone. "Let me know if you need anything." He turns to walk away, deciding to buy her some medicine. As he approaches the front door, his eyes fall on a pair of shoes. Daeun's shoes. They are stained with splatters of blood. He stops dead in his tracks. His calm expression vanishes, replaced by one of dawning horror as he stares at the shoes, the terrible truth of what happened to his sister crashing down on him.